Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Mugler has blessed us with the new release, Amen Stellar. The question is the fragrance itself actually stellar? Yeah. I deserve that. So this is the newest flanker in the Amen line, which has had some of the best designer fragrances ever. Pure Havane, Pure Malt, Ultra Zest, held up as some of the pinnacles of designer fragrances for men. And also ultra super crazy expensive now because they are the D word. Discontinued. And of course, before Stellar, there was Phantasm. So it would appear, looking right here, that the Amen line is officially back. Like for real this time, knock on wood. And today I'll be going over the new Amen, letting you know how I think it smells and if it's worth picking up. It's linked in the description below. Feel free to check it out down there. Let's begin by taking a look at the presentation. So here we have the box. On the front, you've got a lot of info. You have the name of the fragrance, name of the house, size, and concentration. It is an eau de parfum, 100 ml size. Nothing up top. A QR code on one side of the box. On the back, you have your caution and ingredient information. And then on the bottom of the box, of course, you're gonna have your badge code and your barcode. My badge code is ABYN1ET. And here we've got the bottle, your typical Amen bottle style. This one with a really nice looking purplish blue star right in the middle. You have really nothing else going on the bottle itself. On the bottom of the bottle, you have the size, the concentration, a little bit of information as well. And I cannot locate for the life of me a badge code. So no badge code here, no badge code here. I don't know if it's on there. Maybe if I tear off the outer casing here and get to the inside where the bottle, the actual glass bottle is, it's on there. Or maybe I'm blind and completely missing it. That's possible too. In typical Amen style, the atomizer is built into the bottle and it's not great. That was always one of the things that people love to complain about with these fragrances, the atomizer and how unwieldy they are. And that stays pretty much as it ever has been. Let's go ahead and spray Phantasm on as well. Might as well. So the price of Amen Stellar full retail 100 ml size bottle is $115, 115. Now that is two things at once. On one hand, that's a pretty good price, $115, full retail 100 ml size bottle. Pretty affordable compared to a lot of fragrances coming out nowadays. So that's great. On the other hand, when Phantasm released, not that long ago, which by the way, Phantasm also $115 nowadays for 100 ml, it was under $100. So it's like, oh, good job. You priced that really well. Oh, it's actually way more expensive than it was even just a year ago. So good and bad. If this continues, then when the next Amen comes out, it's gonna be 130 or 135, and then the one after that will be like 160. So hopefully that does not happen, but it did happen between Phantasm and Stellar. Now, unfortunately, as of when I'm shooting this video, this one is not available at discounters, but eventually it should show up there for an even lower price, hence the name discounters. The whole thing is the discount. If you take that away, the stores are just nobody wants to shop there. But whenever these do pop up at discounters, especially these ones that you see before you can use these codes to save yourself a little extra cash, whether that is on an Amen fragrance or literally anything else, niche designer or clone. I want to point out specifically the JOMASHOP codes only work within the JOMASHOP app and change every quarter, and Gift Express has hit us with a 15% off code. But really, any of those stores are great, and those codes can help you save even more. So really quick, a recap on Phantasm right here. Just super quick, the one that brought the Amen line back from the dead, officially zombified, but in a positive way. This one is the most reminiscent to Pure Tonka of the fragrances that came out before in the Amen line, before it was unceremoniously. So closer to Pure Tonka, but it also has a little bit of this like coconutty-esque sweetness, which is gonna draw it in line with some of the other more popular contemporary fragrances nowadays. And note breakdown wise on Phantasm, some of the things that stand out are chocolate and patchouli, which is gonna give it a little bit of that Pure Tonka vibe, and also draw it in slightly to the original Amen as well. So the first question, is Stellar redundant to own if you already have Phantasm? Is it too close to what came before it? I would say absolutely not. These two are their own things. They are separate, they smell different. So just to put that out there, because I know some people might think, oh, well, maybe it's gonna be too close. It's not. So how does Stellar smell? How does it open? Well, the first thing that you're gonna get when you spray this fragrance on is actually kind of a rubber smell. Yeah, like that's the best way to put it. Kind of rubber, like sweet rubber. And I know that doesn't sound very appealing, but it actually works. So pistachio is gonna be one of the notes in the top here, and that's kind of what's gonna give it this creamy, rubbery sweetness. And it's so weird because it's addictive. It's like this thing that you want to keep going back to and smelling. You're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Kind of like that. That's kind of weird. Kind of like that. That's kind of weird. And you just keep doing it. Like, even my wife and other people that I've had smell this, that's kind of the reaction. They go like, let me smell that again. Let me smell that again. So it ends up coming across against most other fragrances out here nowadays as really unique, and at the same time, not terribly difficult to pull off or anything. Because sometimes when you do have fragrances that open with something a little different than other stuff out there, you might go, well, yeah, different, but when would I wear it? So be aware that it does have that rubbery kind of feel in the opening, but it dissipates very quickly, and that is apparent both on skin and tester strip. And that actually is gonna tie it in a little bit with the original Amen. It is definitely more modern smelling than the original Amen, but that fragrance, when it first launched, had a smell, especially off the top, that some people compared to asphalt, which may or may not be a good thing for you. Definitely attention grabbing, and it was extremely loud, but it had an interesting opening for some people. We'll say that. And at this point, I think I can go ahead and actually just remove Phantasm, because there's no point in it being here anymore. Everybody say bye to Phantasm. Okay. As Stellar dries down, it's got a nice, like, creamy sweetness to it. My wife described it as like a milky, creamy sweetness. And again, that's probably gonna be that pistachio more than anything. There are other supporting notes in here like mint, lavender, bergamot, but you don't get a huge ton of each one of those. They more so play supporting roles. Maybe you pick them up little bits and pieces blended together as the fragrance dries down. One of the other main things in here is coffee, but it's not like a roast coffee bean. So if you go into this expecting it to be that, you may be disappointed, because the coffee is more so like, again, going back to what I've said before, kind of like a milky sweetened coffee, maybe like a cappuccino note more so than a coffee bean note. So you may find it vaguely reminiscent, at least that accord, that note, with some of the other fragrances that have come out over the years that do have like cappuccino as one of the notes in the note breakdown. It's a little bit more in that style. You also have Tonka in here, done in a similar style to the original Amen. And if I were going to say this is more similar to an Amen fragrance, it probably would be the original, but it's still doing its own thing. And you've also got like a faint bit of woodsiness in the dry down as well. It's underneath that coffee slash cappuccino latte kind of note, underneath the Tonka, underneath the pistachio. So it's not something that's like a really prominent woodsiness, just a little base that all those other sweeter notes are kind of playing off of. And I know I've said a few times, this is sweet, this is sweet, this is sweet, but it's not done in the same way as most fragrances nowadays are. Like a lot of fragrances nowadays are using coconut, they're using vanilla, specifically like a really sparkly, effervescent kind of vanilla, which I love. I think it smells fantastic, don't get me wrong. Also caramel being used heavily, toffee, stuff like that. This one, while it does have a decent amount of sweetness, it is a little bit more mature smelling in a way, a little bit darker in a way. And it has like this dustiness to it, this like light dusting over the fragrance itself, which I don't mean that to say it smells like old and decrepit. That's not what I mean when I say dusty. It's just kind of the way it hits your nose at times, like the way that pistachio, the Tonka are working together. Because Tonka also, depending on how it's used, how it comes across, can have this like hay-like kind of smell to it. And this doesn't smell like hay, that's not what I'm saying, but you know how when you smell hay, it has that like light, like dustiness that kind of hits your nose? Vaguely reminiscent of that, melded together with everything else. And having said that, I do think that, well, I guess I'm bringing it back out now. Hi, Phantasm. This one probably would appeal a little bit more to guys middle-aged and younger, because it does have more of that more modern, like I said earlier, coconutty-esque kind of sweetness mixing together with the cocoa that's in there and the patchouli. This one, Stellar, is probably more like mid-20s and up. Now, if you're younger and you like how it smells, of course, wear it. Absolutely wear it. Honestly, probably make you smell more unique wearing it compared to a lot of the other stuff out there. Could give you a little edge that way. But just the way it's constructed, to me, is, you know, leaning a little more like mid-20s and up, because it doesn't hit the sweetness the same way, right? It's approaching it in a very different style. Now let's talk performance. The Amen line, extremely well known for having a multitude of strong fragrances that last forever. Does this one hold a candle? Yes, it does. First day I got this in, sprayed it on. I was probably like 2 p.m. In the morning, I could still smell traces of the scent. Now, to be fair, I didn't do just like one spray. I had like 6 on, but it lasts and it projected. So much so that when I was laying in bed at night, I was like, I should have washed this off. I know a lot of you can relate here, but you know, if you've been wearing a fragrance or something, you're laying down like this, right? And then it's just like emanating straight into your nose. And it's not the greatest sometimes. You're like, yeah, that's pretty strong. A little stronger than I expected. So for me, off my skin, really, really good performance, projects and lasts. And with that said, it is, to me, more of a fall, winter, and spring fragrance. In spring, probably more like spring evenings, early spring. Not really the type of fragrance that I would go for in summer. When it's really hot outside, daytime especially, it's not that type of scent. I mean, you have some notes in here that you would expect would add some freshness, mint, bergamot, for example, in the top and the mid, but it's not really like fresh meat sweet. It's not. As I mentioned, talking about the opening, to me, it actually hits sweet, creamy, and almost rubbery when you first spray it on, which is not really what I think of when I'm like, oh, it's ultra hot outside. Let me reach for something that's gonna work really well in that situation. Now, of course, wear your fragrances when you want. If you like this, if it gives you a confidence boost, if you know how it works off your skin, where you're going, what you're doing, and you can get away with it, yeah, you can obviously wear it during the summer, especially if you're gonna be in somewhere that's air conditioned and you don't spray it on too heavily. But just playing it safe, I would say summer is the last time that I would wanna wear it. So those are my thoughts on Amen Stellar, and to me, it actually smells extremely addictive, really, really pleasant. This right now, when I'm shooting this, is not the time that I wanna be wearing the fragrance, but come fall, come winter, absolutely. And I am so glad that Amen is back. Phantasm and Stellar. Of course, I've got rose tinted glasses. So to me, it's gonna be like, oh, Pure Havana, Pure Malt, you know, those are the best. And then Ultra Zest was super good. Crypto Mint was pretty good as well. Pure Tonka, even stuff like Pure Leather, you know, rose tinted glasses, like I said. But I'm glad that they are making fragrances again. And for the price point, and the performance that you get and the quality that you get, these are really, 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 really good. Understand if you're younger, like I said, Phantasm is probably gonna work better for you. If you're like mid-20s and up, then Stellar may work better for you, or maybe both work good for you. I'm hoping that they come out with some more unique things as time goes. It feels like, to an extent, that these two, not that they're super safe releases, but it does feel like they kind of dipped back into, okay, let's revisit that DNA. And we're gonna do this tweak and that tweak. And I'm waiting to see what they do next. If they're gonna step out of the comfort zone more and really, you know, roll the dice, or if they're gonna kind of keep on like, let's tweak this, change this, tweak this, and approach it that way. Frankly, I'm okay with either. I'm just glad they're back. So there we go, Stellar, 115 bucks, 100 mils. You can get a 50 mil for less. It's just every single Amen bottle that I own is this size, so I can't physically get the smaller one. It'll look stupid. They got me. You know, they got me. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.